Hey, what's up? My name is Nick. Future Nick owns a multi-$100 million business that is built on good vibes and helping the faithful and just doing awesome things for the community. And if you're interested in what I mean by that, I have other videos, but basically creating a big business that teaches people how to make money for themselves or at least find a pursuit in life that brings them fulfillment, and it's what the Lord has planned for them, as opposed to being a slave to the system or to the 9 to 5. This is where I do like daily updates. I kind of build in public and I talk about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. And this is the second one to ever go on Facebook. So if you're seeing this for the first time and you're somebody who I know, then don't feel like you have to watch this whole thing or share it with everybody, because I'm doing this just for me to share in public. And of course, if you're here watching, then I'm stoked that you're watching. So I usually talk to the audience a little bit. I answer some comments, and now that means Facebook. And I don't necessarily want to, because Facebook is like more personal, I don't necessarily want to put you guys' information out there. So I'm going to go ahead and black it out unless you don't care. But even then, I don't want to have to ask every single one of you for permission. So I'm just going to go ahead and black it out. But thank you guys so much for the kind words and the support, and a few of you shared it. And that means a lot, even if you didn't watch the whole thing. Because yeah, it's just weird. It's always weird, like, throwing stuff out there, because then you have people who, like, it's this weird thing. You know how when you talk about, like, pressure, or what am I trying to say here? Anytime I go to do something new or dramatic, there's always like that, there's like voices in the head that's like, oh, what if they think this? And what if blah, blah, blah thinks this? And it's always like super vague, like what do they think? But when you get really specific, it's like, well, they probably aren't even thinking about me, whoever they are. There's 8 billion people on the planet. 500 of them are my Facebook friends, which is a super tiny percentage. And then out of those people, very few are actually going to watch this. So, like, really, if I am worried about what they are going to think, then it's like 7 people. And then those 7 people who actually watch this aren't going to watch a whole video just to talk crap on me. So, like, it's like just this weird thing that we humans go through, where we're scared of, like, judgment, but that judgment actually doesn't impact our lives in any meaningful way. And most people are a lot more kind and courteous than we think. So anyway, those are some of my thoughts. Actually, I didn't write this. This is 8:12. It's in the morning right now. So I don't actually have a whole lot of what's happened recently, because I haven't done anything. I tried to record this and I didn't have my audio, and I wasted 30 minutes. So you guys are going to get the Cliff Notes version, because I don't want to redo everything. Let me go to YouTube. I wanted to answer this comment right here. If your boss saw this, would he be okay with how you talked about his company? You asked yourself if you were just a prideful young man. You know this about yourself, it seems. Be humble, especially in your youth. You can work towards building something big, but don't slander the ones who give you the opportunities along the way. I 100% agree with you, 9/11 Rogue Status, and I just went back and I rewatched this video, and I actually don't think that I talked to my boss. What's the word that he used? Don't slander the ones who give you the opportunities along the way. Basically, what I was saying in that video was that we have different goals, and I realized that we have different goals, and the amount of money that I need to make and the things that I would like to do don't line up with his goals and where I fit in the business. And that was a realization that I had, like, on day 120, which is what, like 4 months into doing this stuff. And I just kind of spoke very matter-of-factly and bluntly. And I had another situation where, I spent 30 minutes or like 45 minutes recording, and then it didn't get any audio, so then I redid it. So I spoke very monotonely, very matter-of-factly, and it was kind of a long day, and it was a rough day. So I probably had a more negative attitude about me. But in that video, over and over again, I say how great my boss is, which I still stand by. He's a great Catholic man, and he's taught me so much. And we have these conversations all the time in his office about, like, hey, you frustrated me because you said this, or you did this, or we need to focus on this. And I've, done the same thing where I'm like, I can't be doing X, Y, and Z for this amount of money. And it's just not worth it, and blah, 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 blah. So we've been super open with each other in that. So I totally understand what you're coming from, and I'm going to do my best not to present anybody in a negative light because I don't want to give that impression. Because I agree with you. So now I did rewatch that, and I guess because I have that, I mean, that's 4 months worth of context that I tried to cram down into 30 minutes. So I have all that context in my brain, so I can understand that if you're coming from no context, why that might look like that. And, I have to be more aware of that because if this is going on the internet, that means I need to choose my words very carefully. So anyway, that's that one covered. I'm just going to go ahead and like all of these because it'll get rid of them being notifications. These are from previous venture videos that I've tried to do. I already liked that one. Cool. Because when I put a heart, it gets rid of them. So status unresponse, when I refresh, boom. So then when I come here, I could just find, that's a weird icon. When I come here, I could just find everything and just respond to all of them. So that's the audience things. I will go ahead and talk about, I'll skip the what happened recently piece because I haven't done anything yet, and I'll do the live strats. Actually, I have done some of this stuff live. Anyway, basically what I did in that other video that didn't record is I took these screenshots of my ad campaign, things that I was doing, the landing pages, the landing page views. I want to make sure that I'm not showing anything relevant. I think this is super interesting. Men is expected. I thought that, like, the fact that it's men over 65 is very interesting because the clients that I'm going for are business owners who own service-based businesses and want to grow into something like larger. So I'm thinking like 35 to 55 maybe. It's interesting to me that there's so many people who are 65 and up who are watching this because, I mean, unless I'm tripping, but to me, if you're looking for a service like this that I provide, you're probably younger because you want to grow your business and you want to take on more responsibility, and 65 is retirement age. So I'm probably gonna have to tweak that so that way my money's not being spent on older men, but rather like business owner men who want to grow. So I gave ChatGPT a pretty detailed prompt about what I need help with because I haven't been getting any calls from this thing. I gave it my primary text as well as my transcript from the video in the ad. Gives me the breakdown and basically says like the ad's doing okay, the video's all right, could be better. The landing page is bad because there's no hard promise. And I actually kind of agree with that. We do have a guarantee, so maybe I should advertise that. I guess I could quickly go to the page so you know what I'm talking about. But I guess it was in yesterday's video. Yeah, it was in yesterday's video. You're good. But the copy's too vague is what it's saying. It says the form is too long, which I kind of want the form to be long because I don't want like brand new people. Typically that's not my target audience. I would like to go to people with money because that way I can make money. Because if I'm charging them, $800 or $1,000 a month, and I can make them like $17,000 a month, they have to actually be able to fulfill on that. So like if I go to a brand new person, which I tried that for a little while, I was like, hey, I'll do your website for free and get you started. And it's just like a totally different audience. So like by going to people with money already, I can help them grow their money and save them lots of time. Whereas if I'm going to somebody who is going from 0 to 1, that is like a whole nother ball game and it's a whole nother skill set. And I don't have the time to invest in that yet. That's the goal of Redwater eventually, is to help those people get from 0 to 1 and to do it for free, whether that's through education or investment or like shout outs and stuff like that. But right now I just don't have the means to do that. So anyway, I should be a little bit more specific in saying like, or the reason I want the form is to weed out certain people. So like you have good friction and bad friction. Bad friction is like it's taking this page too long to load and I don't understand what it's saying. Good friction is I have to do these extra steps in order to get on a call with Nick. So that's the kind of friction that I want. ChatGPT is saying it's too long, and the AI overlords are probably smarter than me, so I'll try to find a nice compromise between too long and too short. because I just don't want to get everyone and their grandmother. I want to get people who have the money and actually want to grow. So that was a little bit of a rant. So that was one of the things that I'm going to do. I'm going to have to go tweak that today. I'm not going to do it live because that'll take too long. But this is kind of just showing you like my thought process and how I kind of do these prompts. Another thing that's for my business for a client. I know I just said that I'm not helping people for free, but I don't want to help people go from 0 to 1 for free. I have reached out to somebody who owns a pressure washing business, and I am going to. They don't have a website, they don't have a domain, and they don't have like a domain specific email, which is basically like instead of nicholas@gmail.com, I could say nick@redwaterrev.com. So it's like a domain specific email. And as far as I'm aware, they're not super on Google My Business, although I haven't done all my research yet. So I basically said, hey, you're an awesome family, and I like the things that you're doing, and I need some more case studies, and I want some more repetitions in this. So can I build you this stuff for free? In exchange, I get to document it and use it as a testimonial and a case study, and basically blast that information out to the public in order to get me more clients. Because then I can say, hey, look, for this pressure washing business, I helped them do all of these things, and here's all the good things. So it's more likely for people to want to buy from me if I actually have proof, and I'm willing to do that for free because it's just delaying the gratification. By doing it for free now, I will get more money in the future. So yeah. Basically, I have these templated websites with this software called Go High Level that I've rebranded to make it look like it's mine, but it's not. Ha ha ha. Cool little trick right there. And it's just a templated website. There's these 5 pages on it that's just like generic pressure washing information. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into here and I will make sure that the information is good. It looks clean. So if you go on mobile right here, this is how most people are going to see it because they're going to Google from their phones, and it'll be about this much that they're going to see. And you can see here that you can't see the call button on the mobile. So I'll have to add a mobile call button because, people who search on mobile, that's where you get most of your traffic. On desktop mode, they have it, but it just says call now and nobody calls from desktop. So that's kind of silly. So I'm going to have to replace this with the actual phone number, so that way when people see it on desktop, they can click it, but they can also read it, type it on their phone. And of course, to get a quote page, when they click this, it'll bring up a pop-up, and the pop-up will have it won't look this ugly, and it'll have a way for them to give their contact information and book a quote. Another cool thing that I'm gonna do is I explained all of this in my video that didn't record audio, and I just don't feel like doing it again. I'm sorry. All of these photos are going to be renamed to pressure washing specific stuff, because when Google crawls this, Google doesn't see websites the same way that you and I see them. They read code and they read file names. So if it's reading file name and it reads the name of this photo is house siding wash, then Google's not only going to read this text right here, but it's also going to read the image, and the image is also going to be house siding wash. So it gives it more instances to be found when somebody searches pressure washing near me or house washing near me, etc. Another thing is that Google really likes to read heading 1. So let me see if I can. So this is a heading 1. By having everything be heading 1, it actually confuses Google. So I'm going to go in there and change all of them to heading 2. And then except for the main information that I want per page. I'm also going to create, this only has 5 pages, which is basically anytime something has to load when you click on it in a website, that's a different page. Google crawls pages in order to be found, and it pops up as, generic pressure washer co. And then underneath it, you see the little gray text that says, we do pressure washing in this city, and we have 20 years of experience, and we're super awesome, and check out our 400,000 Google reviews. All of that stuff is done. Google scrapes all of that and reads that, and you have a different one of those for each page that you have. The more pages you have, the more likely it is for Google to find you. Think of those spy movies where you have a guy who he's been doing all sorts of research. There's all these different photos, and he has them all on the wall. and he like, yarn here and connects here and blah, blah, blah. And eventually all of these outlier things point to the main thing. And then that main thing like becomes the answer in the spy movie. Google basically kind of does the same thing. So you have all these outlier pages. So like our work is an outlier page that points to the main page of generic pressurewashingcompany.com. It's just like a wider net to get more eyeballs. So if you have 5 pages, there's 5 chances for Google to find you. If you have 50 pages, you are 10 times more likely to be found. I think that there's diminishing returns, so you might be like 5 times more likely to be found, but still it creates that big web for Google to find. You link them all together. So what I'm going to do is for the services page, there's going to be a separate page for house washing. There's going to be a separate page for roof cleaning, for driveway and concrete cleaning. Probably like driveway cleaning will be its own thing. Brick cleaning will be another thing. Concrete cleaning will be its own thing. So it's basically just feeding Google lots of information to be found. And finally, the last thing that I will do is these frequently asked questions right here. If I click preview the website, again, Google doesn't read words the same way that you and I do. So what I can do is I click all of these, I get them open. Obviously, I'd have to make sure that this is okay with the client, make sure that the questions are correct. I screenshot this and I bring it into ChatGPT and I say, it's not popping up. I did this already. Here we go. FAQ schema. It's called a schema of something. So I give it to it. I need an FAQ schema. It gives me this code, and then I copy that code, make sure it looks mostly okay. You go into this right here. I drop in some custom code, and then I can paste it in there. And this is for Google to read the frequently asked questions. And that is important because, oops, let me go ahead and blur my screen. How do I, come on. Oh no, this one. Oh yeah. I just don't want to show any proprietary information, but let's say I search pressure washing in Las Vegas. And now let me go back here, click 1, nope, click 2. All right. So this right here, I search pressure washing Las Vegas. These are being found because their Google My Business is really well optimized. Their websites are optimized. This is being shown because, again, they are, their websites are optimized. So this is one page, and here's that gray text I was talking about. This right here, the people also ask, is why we do the FAQ schemas. So if I look here, let me quickly scroll, quickly look at all of the websites that are popping up. And now let me click this one, Pure Seal. Pure Seal doesn't apply anywhere else. It's nowhere else on this page. But because they have an FAQ schema popped up, they managed to land on the first page of Google. So by slapping schemas on every single thing, not only are you helping your clients, your prospects, read and learn more about your business, but you are also helping Google put you higher and you have a chance to get found. Same thing here, FreshBooks, they're not even in anywhere. And every time you click, it pops up a few more. So there's even more of a chance to be found. So it's just kind of interesting stuff. And this is just an AI overview. That's interesting. It's easier for Google to read and find you. So I'm going to do that for, like, let's say I make 15 pages for this pressure washer company. I'm going to have 15 pages of frequently asked questions specific to those pages. Might be more like 11 pages because you have about us and contact us and stuff like that, and those don't necessarily get one. But yeah, that's what I'm doing today, and I think that covers everything. So let me go ahead and clip this and bring it to what just happened. Undo. Okay, cool. I just revealed my name. Oopsies. How do I? All right, good enough. All right, today we learn if Nick can draw boxes. The answer so far is no. All right. Booyah. Shrink that. throw that over here. Eventually this is going to get massive. I think that's all I got for today. I'm going to build all this stuff out more on my own time. I did do a little bit of that building on camera, but like I said, it didn't work. So that's it. Now I'm just going to slap together a quick thumbnail and title for this. And I try to operate this in such a way, that's why I kind of have this stuff set up where I can like switch between these screens. Because I'm trying to limit the amount of time that I actually have to spend editing, because this is actually the least important part of my day, because right now I don't have customers. So the most important thing that I could be doing for my business is actions that get me more customers, which is either reaching out to people through email or cold calling them, or running those ads, optimizing those ads. I'm doing this because I'm a masochist, I guess, and I just want to add more on my plate, and because I want to document this in public. Because wouldn't it be so cool if like I actually achieve all those dreams and it's all documented. So back when I'm in my living room and you see like my rosaries hanging up in the background, you can see my living room is back there. Man, this is mirrored. It's so complicated. And then, one day I have big studio. I'm producing content that's like actually helping entrepreneurs find their way. It's actually teaching them. I'm getting on big calls with people, like holding massive conferences. I'm talking like, you put 2,000 young entrepreneurs in the same room and you make the event free. And I pay like, $60,000 to have somebody come speak on stage. Famous business owner come speak on stage and teach his knowledge. That's the dream here. So if I can document the whole thing and you could see this side of it, I think that's really cool. So I do all of this. I'm trying to do this in the least time intensive way for me. So that way I can just have this studio set up, or this studio set up. I could switch between these scenes right here, and that saves me tons of time in editing. So that way, it's still a decently high quality, but it's not, doesn't take lots of work on my end. So anyway, that's it. I'll spend another 10 minutes slapping together a thumbnail and title, and that'll be it. So if you watch this far, I appreciate you rooting for me. I appreciate you praying for me. I appreciate all your support. Please continue to pray for me, because I am on this journey, and as that individual pointed out in that YouTube comment, I'm like a super prideful dude, and it's very easy for me to get off the tracks, and it's very easy for me to get distracted and to chase after things, or to think that I'm awesome when in reality I'm just like stubborn and etc. So I appreciate your prayers. Thank you for stopping by, and God bless.